That's
You just go around the horn, right? I go again?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Ta-da.
I got one. This is a long fortune. All right. It says Google Chrome will summarize entire articles for you with built-in generative AI.
Yep.
To me, this is the downfall of civilization.
Michael Scott.
That's actually exactly what I wrote.
This right here, downfall of civilization. You
Yeah.
want to talk about it? I feel like this is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
No one reads anything anymore.
So when we first started talking about things like ChatGPT, like when this first came onto the scene, and Bard, and like also Bing, specifically Bing, and how it would like summarize articles for you and all that stuff, we had this long discussion about like, how is the internet still going to work? Because people need to read articles in order for those websites to get paid to pay the people to write the articles so that people can read the articles. And, you know, Bing, Microsoft, they kind of just went very haphazard, and they're just like, we need to be first, we need to be first, we need to be first. They just put out all these features, didn't really care about how it would affect the internet. Google took a very long time, and we were like, they've got a lot to lose. Of course, they're thinking very critically about how this affects writers, all this stuff, how it's going to work. But the more time goes on, it seems like they're not thinking very critically about how this affects writers and stuff. Currently, there's something called the Google Search Generative Experience, which you
I
can
have it enabled.
Yeah, me too. You can opt into it. Anytime you Google something, it basically like gives you a bullet list of your answer or just things related to your question. And it does give you three of the top source links that you can then click into. Not the best, but at least they're trying. With this, you'll be on an article, which I guess you already clicked on the article, right? But then you click a button that just says summarize this for me, and it just gives you a bulleted list of the main points of the article.
Yeah, because you're in Chrome. So you're in Google Chrome, you pulled up a website, it's got an article on it, and you're like, you know how you probably see sometimes that translate button where you're like, oh, I pulled up a website, it's Spanish, let me hit the translate button, it automatically gives me the English version. Probably just gives you a summarize button. You click that, probably a little bubble pops up over the top of the article with an ad-free short text box version of like a summary of the article, and then you got your info, and then you peace out. My article reading habits are like, I guess I could kind of divide it into a couple different categories. Like I either read an article for like all of the information in it, like if I'm reading a review, or I'm reading it for like one fact.
Command F immediately.
One fact, or I'm reading it for entertainment.
Yeah.
Like a car review or like some random article about a story that's interesting. And I'm reading it because it's an entertaining article. And I feel like this totally erases all of those.
Yes.
Like if I'm reading for entertainment, I don't want to use this feature. I want to read the article anyway for entertainment. But if I came for the fact, like this is going to summarize it and find the fact, just like Command F would. And if I came for like a review, I hate to say it, but this is probably going to do a really good job of summarizing a review, too.
There's a reason, like, I think it's Android Police or Android Central. Probably all of the Android websites probably do this now. At some point near the end of when I was at Android Authority, everyone started making this, like, what you need to know section at the very top that was just a list of positives and negatives.
Just deliver that.
And then they would also do the entire review.
Yeah.
Although for some low brow stuff that not as many people were interested in, they would just do that. And that already seemed like a problem. But there's inherently a very weird tension here because Google traditionally has awarded articles that are longer and like has displayed you better on Google, has ranked you better on Google if your article was longer.
If it was longer and like successfully delivered.
Well, I don't think
people.
AI could necessarily understand that at the
Is the longer thing that what's the it's just called like bounce back, where like if you go to a web page and you leave it very quickly, bounce rate. Yeah. So like, does longer just mean staying on longer? Which
no, I think the crawler also like reads how many words are in the article, and there's part of their algorithm has traditionally been like, oh, if something is longer, that means it's more valuable information, which means we're going to rank it higher. Over the years, they have tried to mitigate that because that led to websites just filling so much stuff. Like I remember one of the first articles I ever had to write was like how to take a screenshot on the Galaxy S4 or something. And I had to be like, the Samsung Galaxy S4 is the 4th generation of mobile phone, and and it just like I could literally write an SEO article in my sleep. Like I was getting paid per 100 words. So an article that needed to be 50 words, I would make 600 words.
Every college paper I've ever written.
Yeah, same thing.
But it's a terrible way to make the internet run.
For sure.
So it creates this inherent tension where if Google still is using length to sort of like rank things, which I think they're trying to get like change, it's just very weird that they would be like, yeah, like we suggested you this article, but now we're just going to shorten it to what you originally could have written it as anyway.
It's really, the tension is funny because if they were prioritizing length, but then also now are prioritizing the shortened version, it's clear that people were more into the shortened version.
Yeah.
And like we see this all the time with like, I'll make a 20-minute YouTube video and people skip through the chapters and like read the top 3 comments and leave. And I know that that's how they behave sometimes. Also, what you're talking about with reviews, when people have the sort of a summary of the review at the top before getting into the rest of the review, I don't run a site like that, but I would be willing to bet that a large portion of the traffic reads the first paragraph and like the little summary at the top and then pieces out.
Yeah.
Like most people will do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, people do prioritize like quickly getting the access to the information they're after and then leaving. And that's what this is showing that they're trying to satisfy.
The funny thing about this, though, is that Google is trying to keep you on google.com now with the current search generative experience that isn't the article summary.
Yeah.
Because they've already been in hot water for this before by like scraping Wikipedia and just like putting it within the google.com website. And now they're doing that even more intensely where they scrape websites and just put it in a ChatGPT-esque.
And I would argue this, what we're talking about right now, has the one step in it that makes it feel not as bad, which is getting to the page.
In the article, yeah.
Getting to the article and summarizing there. If that becomes a stay in your search list and like a pop-up comes up summarizing it, that's where this gets really bad.
I don't think they could do that.
If that gets to that, that's a very bad move.
It's like there's a Copilot in Edge, right? That kind of does this already. Like you'll be reading a paper or a 50-page research paper, and you just hit the summarize button. And of course, it's super useful that AI can give you like the bullet-pointed list of the most important facts from that paper. Ideally, it's factually accurate because it's trained on the paper that it just read for you. But summarizing articles or summarizing, I'm guessing it says articles, but it's Chrome. You could summarize anything. You can summarize whatever web page you're on.
Well, so one thing about this is it says that the feature is designed to work only on articles that are freely available to the public on the web.
So if you're behind a paywall, you can't.
It doesn't work on paywall articles.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I also foresee a problem with like articles that are written with a lot of nuance or a lot of like if you're being very like pedantic or just like language is very like flowy. Like I can say something in such a way that I'm joking. And if the search generative experience thing just scrapes that and doesn't know the style and doesn't give you all the context of what I'm talking about before, it could seem like something that I say that I don't actually mean, and that I don't actually mean it. They don't
just
know
put it
that.
as a bullet point.
They can just put it as a bullet point.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't understand sarcasm.
Yeah, exactly. That's an easier way to say that.
Sounds like the YouTube comments.
Yeah. So it's rolling out on mobile pretty soon here, and then they'll eventually move it to the web. I'm very curious to try it, but I also am like, why do we have to make everything shorter?
Pull a recipe? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's okay. Recipes are the number one thing that should be shortened.
Yeah, well, I agree.
What you were saying with articles is exactly what recipes notoriously do. You're like, how do I make banana bread? What ingredients do I need? Back in 1929,
when I was 14, my mother used to.
I do think part of that though isn't for search engine optimization. There's like some sort of copyright in there where like you need to include some form of like work around it. Yeah, to make that either be your recipe or so you don't get hit by somebody else if you wind up having the same recipe, which is super common because food is food and people have been making it forever. But
there's also
please just fucking give me the freaking recipe.
The box at the top. Like every review's
what
got
do
the
I
box
need
at the top.
Yeah,
just give me the box at the top.
It's so hard to find the actual recipe. When
paragraph 7 tells you how much sugar. Paragraph 9 tells you how many eggs you need. You just keep having to read.
Paragraph 10 tells you my grandma's favorite song when she was 14.
If you can,
you just want to find that cup of nutmeg and then get there.
Don't trigger me, Andrew.
Wait, can you explain that?
When I was in college, I made a nutmeg lasagna.
What?
Yeah, it was a nutmeg lasagna that was made of acorn squash because I was vegetarian for like a decade, and I pulled this recipe and it said that it required a pinch of nutmeg, but I was having my friend help me with the shopping list and he put a cup of nutmeg. I did not question anything. I went and bought a cup of nutmeg, which at the store I was like, this is like $60 to buy this much nutmeg.
Wait, it's not just $60.
No, I know. I didn't buy it in one cup. I bought it in many small cups.
Everyone in this story gets to that part like, how though? They're so small.
That's why I was like $60. And then I got back, I made it, and I was eating it, and I was like, this is really bad. And then I was so focused on like getting through it. I ate a quarter of it, and I started feeling like woozy. And then I looked it up later. Nutmeg is a hallucinogenic if you eat enough of it.
It's like dangerous too.
It can be dangerous.
So don't
do that.
Do not do that. But
don't eat a cup
of nutmeg.
Anyway, was that what you were doing? Were you referencing?
That's what I was referencing. 100%.
Well, I have to tell the story.
It's my favorite story. It's Claire's favorite story, I think too.
It's insane.
Yeah, anyway, that was long ago.
The amount of red flags of like, I need you to buy 1 cup of nutmeg. And you get to the store and nutmeg is in these little things. I'd be like, this is going to go crazy.
I just wish you were like, to a guy who walked by, how many of these is a cup? And they would have been like, what on earth? Are you opening a bake shop?
This lasagna cost me like $85 and I had to throw it all out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about how like Trader Joe's cashiers like look at what you're buying and like comment on it to you?
I know nobody said anything.
To the cash register. Like, when you tried to check out with a pound of nutmeg in your cart, was nobody like, what are you doing with this?
Yeah. I wanted one of the people to be like, I used to go crazy in college too.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get flagged like buying NyQuil or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, might be on a list somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, maybe if SGE could remind me, the Search Generative Experience could tell me that that's too much nutmeg.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like this feature.
Or if you didn't have to spend 25 minutes reading the beginning of an article about acorn squash lasagna.
Maybe that's why I missed.
You might have just been
honestly
tired. Your eyes were
like
weary.
Pinch cup. I don't. My grandma's favorite song. I don't know. It's too much information in there.
Thanks so much for watching that clip. Headlines in a Hat episode clips. We're going to do something I'm calling engagement in a hat, where we're going to tell you how to engage with this video.
Does that mean I can
through a hat?
If I can reach in and get a diamond ring on my finger?
I didn't get one.
You won't know unless you try.
Oh my gosh.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
My tab says subscribe. That's all it says.
Weird.
That's pretty cool.
Do that.
Yeah.
Wait, this says like?
Huh.
Like, probably like this clip.
Oh.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Mine says comment.
Wait. What should they actually comment?
You should pull it out of the hat.
Chupacabra. They say to comment the word chupacabra.
Spelled correctly.
Wait, I found a ring.
Wait, Adam, you need to pick.
Engagement. Oh.
What's it say? 15% of my diet.
That was pretty good.
I was like, did I press the button?
Thanks for the engagement.